So, hello friends, this is Yrvind, and now have to be nervous because now comes the big test. Here's the water. I'm going to put it in the funnel and hopefully it will not leak. So, that's the plan. I keep my breath. I hope everything will go okay. So far so good. One of these small buckets done. I can't see any leak. So I try another one. So far so good. That's a good thing. There is over a small leak here. So I don't really understand how this can be. But on the other hand, who can understand leaks? Leaks are mysterious stuff. But on the other hand, I don't worry. If it leaks out to the water, that's gonna go there anyway. So this is a good thing. So next time when I do the boat upside down, I do a little bit work there. So this is how deep it is. Here it is. And it's like this much water in. So here's the wet part. And still it doesn't leak. So, good thing so far, but I keep my breath. I will bike back home, have my 1 meal dinner a day, and come back and see if it's still okay. So now it's more than 3 hours later and still no water at all in here. So I can feel confident the lake is sealed. So I will just empty the water here, 2 buckets. So I pull the plug and outgoing water. But now this is strange. Only like a third of a bucket or a quarter of a bucket came out, and I put in 2. So there's something strange happening here. I must have made a big mistake somewhere. And I don't really know what. So this is not a good thing. In fact, it's bad. Okay, now I found the water. So it's leaking in here. So there is a leak. Between there. And it's not going to be easy to fix that. So I don't even know how to do it. So, luckily, the boat is built of the cellar and epoxy. And I got a jigsaw. And here's the hole. So I have to cut up this bulkhead. It's not good, but that's how it is. So sometimes it shines, sometimes it rains. Sometimes the wind is following you, sometimes it's against you. So now we just have to fix it. So friends, now we made a hole here. And now we're gonna grind down this side to make it even with the inside. And when it's done, we're gonna put epoxy there. And that's gonna make it nice and smooth. Then we're gonna put these things back. So this is the wonderful thing. Even if it looks discouraging, there is hope. So today I was happy because there was no leak. But those of you who remember Murphy, he said, if anything can go wrong, it will. And if it doesn't go wrong, you shouldn't be happy, because something worse will happen. So it didn't go wrong here, and I was happy, but I shouldn't have done that, because now they leaked in between here and I had to cut up the bulkhead. So we have to thank Mr. Murphy for the insights in the world of things that can go wrong. I had been away more than a year on Duga, the big boat. And among the many things I had learned was a bigger boat doesn't make you happier. But it costs more, not only to build, but also in upkeep. It is also more difficult to maneuver and find a place in harbor. It sure has many advantages, like speed and carrying capacity and prestige, but they did not mean much for me. So, weighing it all together, as one has to do, I understand that my values and my heart favored the small one. Back in Sweden, now I lived in the attic of my mother's house. Mother was glad to see me back. I told her I wanted to build a small ocean-going boat and asked if I could do it in the backyard. It is always interesting to see you doing constructive work, she said. The neighbors, who had been a bit surprised that the good-for-nothing son next door had crossed the Atlantic in a converted steamboat, was of the same opinion. It had been in the newspapers. To get shelter from the weather, I put up some tarpaulins between the apple trees. It did not take long before the city planner was there, asking me if I had permission. I said only build a small boat. Then I take down the tarpaulins and go sailing, I answered. Have you been thinking about what would happen if everyone did like you? He asked. What would happen if everyone was a town planner? I said. That made him indignant. He forced me to take down the tarpaulins. In the evening, when Mother came back home from work and heard about it, she got mad. Sven, she said, make the boat a bit smaller, clean out the cellar and build her there. Then, in the spring, we dig her out. The cellar was not very big, but neither was I or my needs. The biggest problem was that the house was very old and rested on a solid foundation of good Swedish granite stone, 3 feet thick. The cellar was 4 feet underground. From the outside, there were steps leading down to a small door. It was through that door the boat would have to be taken out. So one of the fundamental design requirements was how to draw an ocean-going yacht small enough to go through that small, non-flexible door. Finally, I had worked out that the boat would be 20 feet long, 5 foot 8 inches beam. She had 2 unstayed masts with lug sails and a centerboard for shallow draft. It would be a cold-molded construction, a technique I learned at Sotes in Cowes. Her bottom would be covered with latched lockers to keep provision secured in storm, and its waist low down. That would give me 3 feet headroom, except for a small foot. Well, she would be unsinkable thanks to the first and last 2 feet of the boat being filled with foam. She would have 1.5 inch insulation, which, apart from adding buoyancy, also gave insulation. On 21st of June 1971, I started to build her. It was the lightest day of the whole year, and is widely celebrated throughout Sweden as midsummer. I named the boat Breeze, which is Swedish for breeze, also similar in German, French, Spanish and other languages. And Duga had been named Breeze before, making it simple to explain. I had gotten tired of explaining my name of the previous boat. As usual, when building a boat, everything takes much longer than estimated. Much of this was due to my limited economy, the small space. Autumn was past, but before Christmas, Alan was back. He had sold the steam launch schooner in Florida. That gave a boost to my economy. I paid back the money I owed him for the airplane ticket, Rio, Sweden, and I still had enough to continue into the spring. As the building progressed, more and more visitors arrived. The boat grew and grew and took up more and more space. Even the nicest were tempted to comment on how impossible it would be to get the boat out. Most of them also told me of their version of a man who built a boat in a cellar and did not get it out. In the beginning of October, the big day finally arrived. The boat's superstructure was unscrewed, the door and its frame were removed, one of the granite stones supporting the house sticking out a bit more than others was chopped off. A man with an excavator working nearby was giving a kilo of coffee to remove the steps leading down to the cellar and digging a canal a bit out into the backyard. With the help of friends, we succeeded of squeezing out the boat. To my horror, there was a leak around the center wall. It was very late in the season, but after all the work, I did not want to experience another Swedish winter. This time I plan to sail by way of Cape Horn against the wind and waves into the Pacific. Not many believed me. One particular man less than others. He was an entrepreneur interested in sailing. One day he had knocked on the cellar door, soon interested in my project. He had come back a few times and given me help and advices. A nice person. One day he suggested a deal. He would give me $1,000. All I had to do was go sailing. He would, with my permission, take out the life insurance of $20,000 on me in his name. I accepted eagerly. What could I lose? We went to the doctor and got a health certificate, then to the insurance company and signed papers. That was all. So, to be continued.